morning. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Happy Halloween. Guess what I am for Halloween? I'm focused. That's what I am. Now, I didn't get my costume, but I see some costumes on the line. You guys look awesome. Happy Halloween. Be safe out there if you're going out tonight or taking your kids out or eating a lot of candy. You know, I would be safe either way because all those are dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, we're getting into Triple M October edition or Halloween edition. I should have made a Halloween flyer. Dang, slipped my mind, but now I know. Halloween edition, and today we're going to be listening to a wise gentleman, one of the guys that really got me started. One of the first few people I heard when I started listening to personal development, listening to positive messages, listening to mind-expanding materials, and his name is Jim Rohn. So if you're not familiar with Jim Rohn started in Idaho. He was born in Idaho, farm boy as he calls it. Came to California and, went to college for a year, dropped out, and then thought he knew enough to get a job, and then hit a lot of hard financial times, ended up going on to be a network marketing professional, went on to be a professional speaker, author, world traveler, business philosopher, official of Herbalife. He mentored Mark Hughes. He mentored Tony Robbins, if you know who Tony Robbins is. This guy is amazing. Just finished listening to one of his books called The Power of Ambition. Epic book. I always suggest you listen to Jim Rohn. So he's going to be talking today, and make sure you got your notebook out because we're going to want to hear from you guys and the nuggets you take. I know a lot of you guys are at work, so no problem if you can't share live. If you can't share live, I want you to share. If not, type it in the chat box and I'll read it out so everybody can get the benefit of everybody's perspective because it all counts. So without further ado, let's get to the man, Jim Rohn.
Put the plow in the ground in the spring if he couldn't see the vision of the harvest when the summer is finished. Is it possible to see the finished harvest? And the answer is yes. We do that simply by faith. Key phrase, faith is the ability to see things that don't yet exist. And that's how things exist. How did this hotel get here? Someone saw it while the property was vacant. You say, well, is it possible to see this hotel when it isn't here? And the answer is yes, of course. If somebody cannot see it when it is not here, then it will never be here. So it's possible to see things that don't yet exist. Interesting. When should you start building this hotel? This is a good question for your philosophical musings. When should we start building the house? When should we start? And here's the answer. As soon as it's finished. You wouldn't start building the house until you had it finished. If you just started laying bricks and somebody came around and said, what are you doing? Said, I'm just laying bricks. And said, what are you building? And you said, I have no idea. See, they'll take you away to a safe place. So have you got that now? It's possible to finish something before you start. In fact, it would be a bit foolish to start until you had it finished. So human beings have this remarkable ability to finish something and then start it. We've heard the old expression, don't count your chickens until they're hatched. Say, no, we have the ability to count our chickens long before they're hatched. Because we know, we have faith, we believe. We use the law of averages. There's bound to be at least so many. Out of every dozen, out of every 100, out of every 50. So it's possible to see the end and then begin. Start looking into the future of what you would like to accomplish and where you would like to go, the person you would like to be, and see if you can't get a better picture of the finished objective. See yourself there. See yourself in possession of. I was in business with Bob Cummings, the old movie star, for a while. He said, decide what you want and then act as if you already had it. And being an actor, he could give us a few tips on acting. Decide what you want and act as if it was already yours. Now, the reason we can act thinking that it's already ours is because not only can we vision the end results, we can also vision the beginning of making it real. So we don't start till it's finished, but it is possible for human beings to finish something before they start. Human beings are the only life on earth that has this incredible capacity to change the course of your life. No other life form can do that. Every other life form except humans seems to operate simply by instinct and the genetic code. In the winter, the goose flies south. How often? Answer, every winter. If you said to the goose, hey, it'd be better this year to go west, he ignores that advice. And the reason is because he cannot make choices and listen to advice of something that might be better. He has to obey instinct and the genetic code. But now jot this down, not human beings. Human beings can alter the course of their life. Human beings can live one way for 5 years, tear up that script, live a totally different way the next 5 years. The first 6 years of my economic life, I wound up broke. Second 6 years, I wound up rich. Someone says, how did you do that? Here's number one, I discovered I was not a goose. Someone says, don't you have to do the second 6 years like you did the first 6 years? And jot this down. No. No, you don't have to live the second 6 years like the first 6. You can use all the information and all the advice and repairing all of your mistakes and adopting a new and refined philosophy so that the next 6 years can be totally different than the last 6. No other life form can do this. See, if you were a tree, you'd be stuck. As a tree, if you used up all the nourishment that was around you and you couldn't change location, see, you would die. But that's not true. Human beings can change location, go north, south, east, west, live here for a while, live somewhere else for a while. So that's a note to make. You can greatly alter the course of your life. Now here's the next note to make. 5 years from now, you will arrive. The question is where? This is for mature people now. If you keep up your present disciplines and keep up the present pace that you're on, where will you be in 5 years? Boy, it's easy to say, hey, I haven't really thought about that. So now make this note. In 5 years, here's the probability. You will either arrive at a well-designed destination or an undesigned destination. Well-designed or undesigned. And I promise you, 5 years from now, you really don't want to arrive at an undesigned destination. Because you may very well wind up wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, living where you don't want to live, maybe doing what you don't want to do. Simply because you didn't design a better destination. Key phrase, up front, the decisions are easy. Now, sometimes after we've lived a few years, now to repair our mistakes and get back on track seems like a tough job. If you've messed up your health for 10 years, I'm telling you, it takes...
Do you know your exact life purpose? You know your destiny. I'm going to show you 3 ways you can figure it out.
Like a tough job. If you've messed up your health for 10 years, I'm telling you, it takes more than 10 days to get it back. But here's the key, and it's so exciting to talk to the teenagers. Make the note, if you start early, the fortune belongs to you. If you start early. All fortunes that are available to humans, if you start early, the promise looms large and the odds are heavy in your favor. Now, yes, it's possible to do some radical things starting late and still arrive with some good treasures and some good things. But when you haven't got that much time left, now sometimes the decisions have to be so drastic people are not willing to make it and they're too tired and too weary and too ill. And say, look, I don't have much time left. It's not going to happen for me anyway. It's easy to take that attitude. But everyone here, we've got the time over the next 10 years. We've got the time the next 20 years. We've got the time the next 30 years to make some repair now in our errors of the past and set up some new disciplines. And I'm telling you, that's going to change everything. So, 5 years from now, I wish for you to arrive at a well-designed place. A place of productivity, a place that'll make you feel good about yourself, a place that'll give you honor and respect, a place that'll give you influence to touch other people, 5 years from now that you couldn't do today? Where will you be in 5 years? Key phrase, we go the direction we face. We go the direction we face. If you start designing something at the end of this direction, sure enough, you will start going the direction you face. And we face the direction we design. Next phrase, direction determines destination. Destination is not determined by hope, it's not determined by wish. Destination is determined by direction. You cannot change destination overnight. You cannot change destination overnight. Which means you can't arrive at a 5 years from now place tomorrow. But here's what you can change today and overnight. You can change direction. And it is so fascinating what a little small change of direction will do. Let's say that you're here and you're headed this way. And 5 years from now, you'll wind up here. But here's how we individually can arrive at a new destination. Maybe right now by discipline or lack of discipline or direction, you're headed this way. But it wouldn't take much to change direction and head this way. So that in 5 years, you wind up here instead of here. And the difference now of getting off this track and getting on this track is not much. A few decisions in discipline, a few decisions in learning, a few decisions in change of behavior, change of habit, a few decisions in setting goals that you've sort of let drift before. Like I did at age 25, didn't have a list. I immediately started to change that. And I immediately started to change my direction so that very quickly I started heading this direction. In less than 7 years, I was a millionaire. And that was just my economics. And sure enough, when I met my mentor, I was headed this way. And here's where I would have been in 5 or 6 years. Maybe okay. You know, my kids probably wouldn't have been starving. And maybe, you know, we got clothes to wear and a place to live. But the joy of productivity and the joy of becoming valuable to the marketplace and more valuable to my family and valuable to my friends in my inner circle, all of that probably would have escaped me if I would have kept going this way. But I am so thankful for the circumstances and whatever else arranged it for me. Some things are arranged, we don't even know how they've occurred. For you to be here, do you imagine the chain of circumstances that caused you to be able to sit in this auditorium today? It's amazing. This had to happen, and this had to happen, and this door had to close, and this door had to open. And all of those things, for me to be here, for you to be here, I just didn't drop out of the sky, right? And you arrived here from all kinds of directions. Here we are. And so we just say, wow, part of that's a mystery, and we let it be a mystery. We don't even try to figure it out. We just say, wow, it's incredible. But now that we're here, how could we collectively and individually affect each other's lives? It's by doing just what we've done. Study, learn, teach, shake hands, trade stories, and do all the stuff. So that we can help other people as well as ourselves to make that small journey to a new direction. So jot that down. It's only a small journey to a new direction. Guess how quickly you can change your health? By starting to eat an apple a day. Mama said an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Let's say you've been ill long enough, and you've had health problems long enough, and you say, that's it. That's over. I'm going to now start a program. You don't have to really revolutionize your whole health life. Just start with an apple a day. You say, well, is it that simple to change your health life? And the answer is, yes. The key is just to start. You know, you pick up a book on good health, and you get halfway through the book, and it says, now, dear reader, set this book aside, fall down on the floor, and see how many push-ups you can do. And then it goes on to say, and if you have not done that, why not give this book away? It looks like you're not going to do it. Come on, you don't have to radically do something. You can gain momentum and make changes as you go. Just start. Here's what happens when you start a new direction. Self-esteem starts to accelerate. It doesn't take much for you to feel good about yourself. Just committed to a new direction and you feel good. And an apple a day, committed to finally having a health program that'll make you the healthiest you've ever been in the next 20 years, all you got to do is munch on that first apple. And nobody even has to be around you, and you don't have to announce it to the world. But you munch on that first apple and say, this is the beginning of developing a health program that's going to make me so healthy I'll have the vitality to do whatever I want to do for the next 30 years of my life. Munch, munch, happy, happy, self-esteem off the scale. Now, if you eat an apple the second day, you become almost delirious, saying, wow, I'm on my way. Somebody said, just 2 apples? Says, look, you don't understand. Not only did I do it yesterday, I've done it again today. This is really proving to myself with no audience, no microphones, no nothing, just you and yourself. You've convinced yourself, I'm on my way to the healthiest I ever have been. I'm starting a new life. This is the second day. I'm on my way. That's how easy it is to change your life. You don't need some dramatic vision. Just begin something.
Man, my man Jimmy is always breaking it down. He said, you're almost delirious on the second day. Love it. Awesome. So let's get a few shares. Roxy, you excited to share?
Yes.
Roxy actually chose the video, so I'm excited for her to share.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So some of my biggest takeaways, I loved when he was talking about how human beings can change the course of their direction. You know, so many times, I know for me in the past, I used to think that I couldn't change my life. Like, it was just the way it is. Circumstances are the way they are. I look the way that I look. I have what I have. But that's not, excuse me, but that's not the case. You know, out of everything else on this planet, we're the only ones gifted with the opportunity to really change our lives if we really want to. So I really love that, because it really just shows you what kind of power you really have. And it's up to you whether you want to use that power or not. So it's all up to you. And then a second point that I really loved was when he was talking about the 5 years from now. It's like 5 years from now, you're going to arrive somewhere. The question is where, you know? And that is so, so key, because, for instance, I just left my job last Sunday, right? And I just left my job, and as I look back, it still feels like yesterday when I just started to work. You know, I started working when I was 14 years old. It's been 14 years since I've been working, and it feels like it was just yesterday. It feels like yesterday when I was just in Texas getting my first serving job. But no, it's actually been 10 years, you know. And recently when we went to Texas, I saw people that were still there at the same place doing the same thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But so many times we get trapped in the day-to-day things and trapped in the comfort that we're not willing to change the course of our lives based on the direction that we're going. So I really love that, because either way, 5 years from now, you're going to arrive somewhere. But the question is it going to be designed or is it going to be undesigned? And there's a big, big difference when you design exactly 5 years from now where you want to be, as to not designing your life. So I thought that was powerful. And then I'm just going to leave it right there.
Nice. Awesome stuff. Took some of my takeaways. So let's see. One of the best ones for me that stood out was successful people see things before they happen. He said, when should you start building the house? He said, as soon as it's done. And that means it's first got to happen up here, and then it happens out there. Because if you just start putting bricks down and somebody comes and asks you, hey, what are you doing? You're like, you're building a house. They're going to take you away. You don't just place bricks. And the same thing with your life. You don't just do things randomly. You got to do it with a plan. So before the life happens, before the relationship happens, before the health results happen, before the job promotion happens, before the Herbalife success, if you're in Herbalife and going for a new level in the marketing plan, before all these things happen, they have to be happening in the head first. So I think it's such perfect timing, because we're coming to the end of the year. We got about 60 days left in 2016. Are you thinking about what you're going to accomplish in the next year? Have you built your vision board? If you had a vision board from this year, awesome. Are you going to build on it? If you never made a vision board, it might be time to do that. It might be time to sit down and say, hey, what do I want my 2017 to have me arriving at? You know, instead of me arriving at the end of 2017, exactly like 2016. And I'll give you a little hint. If you keep arriving at the same place, you're actually going backwards. For example, say you always got $100 in your bank account. In 2017, that same $100 isn't even worth the same amount. Why? Inflation. So you're actually going backwards. So it's so crucial to keep going forward by a well-designed plan. So see your goals first. And the next one I really love is human beings can alter the course of their life. And he said, how? You got to know you can. You got to know you can change. You got to believe that it can be different. You got to believe that no matter what the last 5 to 10 years have been, the next 5 and 10 years don't have to be and won't be the same if you choose so. It's all a mental attitude. It's all a way of belief and believing. If you believe, oh, you know what, I'm big boned, I'm always going to be overweight, and, you know, I can only just be a worker, I'm an employee, guess what? The next 5 and 10 years are going to find you overweight, unhappy, and employed at a place you probably don't want to be, giving your time away for money. Coming home at 6:30 and going back to work at 8 a.m. the next morning. So if you believe that, your actions are going to follow that. You're not going to look for a new job. You're going to keep eating Snickers and missing breakfast, and you're not going to work out. So guess what? It's not the universe. It's not fate. No, it's your actions and your habits, but those come from the belief patterns that you have. But if you switch that, say, you know what? I can change. I can make different decisions. I can become somebody new. You might start waking up and having your Herbalife shake in the morning, start your metabolism off. You might start snacking differently. You might say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to go to happy hour and grab some wings. I'm going to go, but I'm going to sip on some water, and I'm going to take a protein bar. Because why? You believe, hey, you know what? I can change. I don't have to be like that anymore. You know what? Maybe I'll look for a little side job. Maybe I'll start a little side business. Maybe I'll start my Herbalife business or my whatever business on the side because, man, you know what? I can grow. I can do extra things. I can have more. And guess what? You'll be in a year to 3 to 5 years. You never know. But it won't be what it was in the past 3 to 5 years. Why? You believe different. Because you believe different, you act different. Because you act different, you get different. Boom. Oh, is that crazy? It's that crazy. It's that crazy. Want me to give you a tip? Get around other people that believe different. You keep hanging around the same people that believe the same thing, guess what? You're going to be like, man, that ain't going to work. You get around some people that are like, man, that'll work. Give it a try. I did this. You're like, man, I think it can work. Get around some different people. And then the last one, direction determines destination. Direction determines destination. We go the direction we face. Let me give you guys a hint. You ever seen that person that says, you know what? I'm about to get ripped up, but they got a Snickers bar in their hand. You know what? I'm about to get it, but they got the bottle of Coke on the table. Their direction is overweight, under-energized, health issues. So guess where they're going to go? They're going to go there. So I take this as if I say something, if I say, hey, you know what? This is what I want. I want to be a president's team member with Herbalife. I want to be a family man. I want to be a homeowner. I want to be a world traveler and impactor. I want to make a difference. I want to be have time freedom and financial freedom. This is the destination I want. Remember, your goals are a destination, GPS. But my direction is I'm not doing the work. I'm not getting my own health results. I'm not helping people get health results. I'm not being consistent in my business, in my personal life. I'm not growing my finances. I'm waking up late. I'm going to sleep early. I'm not putting in the work. I'm not reading the books. I'm not going to the events. So my direction is here, but my destination is there. Guess what? You're going to wind up at a different destination. And this is what I've seen is the biggest difference between those that are successful and those that are not. Because it's so easy to put the destination in the phone. Okay, I'm going to go to 333 La Brea Ave. Anybody can, my little sister who's 6 can put a destination in the phone. That's the easy part. So it's easy to say, you know what, I want a 6-pack. I want to get my curves. I want to have energy. I want to be, financially abundant. I want to be this. I want to help my family. It's easy to put the GPS in. But then when it comes time to make that right and jump on the freeway and take it down 3 miles and get off on the right and then take the left, when it takes time to wake up early, go do the work, get the books, talk to the people, get them healthy, show up to the event, show up to supervised school, show up to trainings, go to the gym, get the results, then people start saying, oh man, I got to do all that. But it looks cool to put the GPS in. But my sister isn't going to be driving on the freeway to do that. Why? Because her direction is different. She's 6 years old. But don't get confused just because she can put the GPS in. And that's where people get confused. They think the GPS is the work. That's the easiest part. The hardest part is the work of the direction. I got to go right. I got to jump on here for 3 miles. I got to wait in some traffic. I might have to switch some lanes. I might have to get off here. I might have to take a side street. I might have to get past this car. That's the directions that take you to your destination. So make sure that your GPS and your directions match. That's all I'll say. Roxy's giving me the little, you guys should see her on the shot. She's giving me like, oh, no, let him share. Let me drop some of the things and then I'm going to get to this. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, who's excited to share? Give me a smile. Give me a hand up. Give me a thumbs up. Who's got something they're excited to share or input? Let's get it. Armani, what you got for us?
My name's Armani. So before I drove and took my sister to school, I was able to write down some of my shares, and I wrote, see yourself in the position of. So when you're seeing yourself, like the envisionment of, like, for instance, moving up the marketing plan, growing your business, getting those health results, you're going to be a lot more, you're going to be moved to actually get those. So it hit home for me. And like how Roxy said, we're humans and we can change what direction we're going in. And that's awesome, because exactly what I did. So it hit home for me too. And you don't have to live the next 6 years like you did the last, which is really empowering.
Nice, there you go. I love it. You can change your direction. We're human beings. We can do that. Great share, Armani. Love it. Beast mode. On your way to world team. Congrats on your cut again to active supervisor. Dope, bro. Who's got another share for me and us? Give me a smile. Give me a thumbs up. Jay Stevens, I just saw you come on video. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
But he was saying that, if you don't see it before it's there, it'll never be there. I thought that was like powerful. Just like with inventors, if they never got the idea in their head that there was a possibility for a chair, there would have never been a chair, a light bulb, a car, whatever. Like, you have to see it before you actually see it. And if you never get the idea or the possibility, it'll never exist. So, like, really getting it in your head that, you know what, it's possible. Can you see a hotel on that corner, on that street corner right there? If you can't, it'll never be a hotel there. Can you see yourself at the next level in the marketing plan? If you don't, it'll never exist. So I thought that was really powerful, seeing it or else never seeing it. You know what I mean? So that was a great takeaway.
Super powerful. Seeing it before it is. And really that's going to give you the nuggets. And really, one tip I'll give you guys with seeing it before, if it's a level in the marketing plan, if it's a home, if it's a relationship, if it's a destination you want to travel to, if it's a type of impact you want to create, you got to see it, but then you also got to know why you want it and what it's going to give you access to, because it's really going to give you access to something. That's what it does. For example, for me, I'll just give you my personal. My goal is President's Team, but it's not the pin. The pin is just a piece of, diamonds and gold. President's Team gives me access to freedom, gives me access to impact, and gives me access to potential. Meaning that freedom, I don't have to have a boss. I do what I want to do. I don't have to just have 30 minutes to myself at the end of the night. I can get up in the middle of the day and go work out. If I want to go see my little brothers graduate on a Wednesday, if I want to go travel to somewhere, I can go. Number two, it also gives me impact, fulfillment. Because I know that to get to President's Team, I have to get people healthy. I have to teach people how to get people healthy. I have to make a difference in a lot of lives. So it's very fulfilling for me, and it makes a difference in the world. And then potential means I get to choose what I want to do. Meaning it gives me options. Do I want to live in this part of town or do I want to live in that part of town? Do I want to have my brothers go to this school or that school? Do I want to set up a college for our children? Do I want to travel to this part of the planet? Do I want to wear that? Do I want to contribute to this foundation? Do I want to shop at this grocery store or do I want to shop at Whole Foods? It gives me potential. So it's not the pin that is the outcome. I see what it gives me access to. The freedom, the potential, the fulfillment, because those are feelings. And once you get the feeling, you start to create an attraction point, because then you'll attract that feeling. Because if you're doing it just for the pin, that'll fade out. When it gets tough, you'll be like, why am I doing it just a pin? No, I'm doing it for freedom. I'm doing it for potential. Boom, the energy is different. The attraction is different. That's what you see. That's what you see. So awesome job, you guys, from Super Step in Seattle. I like when he said it takes a small change to start changing your destination. 1 apple a day, or start with 1 contact a day, 1 event per month. Just get the momentum going. Love that. So definitely, it just takes a small step. You're actually, the reason the first and second and third steps are so hard is because you're actually creating a brand new pathway in your brain. I'm reading the book, The Power of Habit, and it talks about you actually alter your brain when you start making new habits. It's like that first time you go down the other pathway that there's nobody have walked. It takes a few times for there to be a clearing in the pathway, the grass to move, there to be dirt for you to go. So you're literally creating, but all it takes is that first step. And then by the second day, like Jim Rohn said, you're almost delirious because you feel so good. So awesome stuff, you guys. Great takeaways. Man, this was a great call. I'm going to unmute everybody. Let's get it. Have a great day. Happy Halloween. Peace. I'm going to post a recording, tag your friends, share with everybody. Let's go.